What's up, y'all? This is Reggie White, aka Bullet, aka Speed and Bullet, and this is the Speed and Bullet podcast channel. Don't forget to like if you like these types of videos, you like these types of conversations. Don't forget to let the YouTube algorithm know that you're here so these videos can pop up in your feed. Don't forget to subscribe. Subscribing gives you an opportunity to be notified whenever we go live or whenever any new content is dropped. You will be notified. Don't forget to comment, engage with the channel, engage with these videos. Let your opinion be known. Let your opinion be heard. And don't forget to let us know where you're chiming in from. City, state, country. Let us know that you are here. And like I said, engage with the channel so your voice can be heard. And last but not least, don't hesitate to share. Share this channel with anyone that you think might find some value in these types of conversations and might be interested in liking and subscribing also. So, what I want to talk about today, briefly, is FANNI WILLIS. Now, unless you've been not paying attention to the news at all, you've heard a little bit about FANNI WILLIS and her prosecuting Donald Trump for some election interference that the state of Georgia is claiming that Donald Trump participated in with the 2020 election. So, she's been in the news, just in general, just because of such a monumental moment it is in history for a president to be charged with these criminal offenses, especially something involving the election. But today, or recently, FANNI WILLIS has been in the news for her own private life and private decisions. So, what's happening is there is accusations from the defense team of Donald Trump and some of his other co-defendants that there has been some, there has been some misconduct from FANNI WILLIS that warrants this case, that warrants her and her entire office of being disqualified from continuing to prosecute, these charges. So what the prosecution is claiming is that FANNI WILLIS, through her office, used her position as district attorney to hire her boyfriend slash lover in an attempt to gain some type of monetary value from him through her in the district attorney office. That is the claim of the lawyers. Obviously, FANNI WILLIS vehemently denies that he was hired because of that reason. She states that they did have a romantic relationship, but this was only after he was hired. Months after that is when this romantic relationship began. And, the prosecution, which is interesting because she's the prosecutor in their case, but now because this is being decided by a judge, now they're the prosecution team in her case. Mad interesting. But what they are saying, what they are alleging, is that she met Mr. Nathan Wade. She met him sometime in 2019 and began a romantic relationship with him. As a result of that, they're saying that is the reason why she gave him the position of special prosecutor in the district attorney office, which is a subcontractor position that he has. So he doesn't necessarily work for the state or the city or the county, but he's a subcontractor, meaning that he's not an employee of the state. Nonetheless, what they're saying is that they were in a relationship and she hired him strictly for that reason, and because he naturally has spent money within their relationship, that she is financially benefiting from hiring him, her boyfriend, lover, however way you or they or she describes it. So this past couple of days, there's been testimony from him, Nathan Wade, explaining their relationship, the origins of it, when it started, and there's also been testimony from FANNI WILLIS. Now, what has been in the news is how FANNI WILLIS has conducted herself during the questioning. Questions about her decorum, questions about her attitude, demeanor, everything that has to do with how she's presenting her, how she's answering these questions. So myself, I wanted to make sure that I was giving this very important event the proper amount of time and attention, and not really just going by whatever these clickbait news, I don't want to call it news, but these clickbait YouTube, even mainstream media are covering this type of event. And what you see from the coverage is Fannie Willis pretty much having every historical trope against black people and against black women that you can think of. They just ran the whole gambit of it. Just being angry, the angry black woman trope, the fiery, the things about attitude, demeanor. Some people have called her ghetto. Some people have said that she just is uneducated and she just does not represent, herself as a professional, as a district attorney of a major county in Georgia. All of these cultural and racist tropes have been thrown, at her feet. And naturally, in the midst of these questionings, in the midst of these accusations, she has responded very, very fiery. And I think it's just very interesting because, once again, black women's attitudes are being on trial. No, not exactly what she's saying. I mean, that's a part of the, just a part of everything that's going back and forth with this, with her testimony. But it's been more of a conversation about her attitude, her demeanor, how she's conducted herself as a professional. And it's the same old, really tired attitude that they have about black people, especially when black people are upset, especially when black people, are, passionate, things that normal people are able to express themselves. Normal people are able to get angry, get upset. But this notion that black people have to sit there and take it, with our hands folded, with a smile on our face, is the oldest of old tropes against black people. And it resurfaced again with her, that she has to have this, this type of professional demeanor at all times. Now, to be absolutely fair to her, the prosecution is being antagonistic towards her also. So she's giving them the same energy, if not more. But it's not like they are particularly, calm in their delivery. I saw that she had to tell one of the guys, one of the men that was questioning her, you don't have to scream at me, and you're not gonna scream at me. So, just maintaining the basic order of things, and just basic respect and decency that you should have when you're conducting yourself in the court. The lawyers were not following that either. So, with good reason, she was pushing back, and she was pushing back with all of her, what I would call, black girl magic. Just making sure that you understand the point that she's trying to make. She referenced making something abundantly clear, so she wanted to make sure that she was explaining all of these things. So I think that is the first kind of take back that I got from, just from watching this testimony was just, Fannie Willis and her delivery. So I wanted to ask a question to those who are watching this. How do you feel about Fannie Willis's delivery? And do you still feel like, as black people, we still have to follow those old rules of how we behave in front of white people in public, how we have to maintain this sense of professionalism, of etiquette, of demeanor at all times? We all know how we've been taught to deal with police and law enforcement, or just to be in the presence of white people in general. Black people have been really conditioned to make sure that we do not cross certain lines when we're in certain crowds. So my question is, do you feel as though that's still a thing, that black people still have to filter their attitudes, demeanors, even natural feelings and reactions to things, for fear that it will be taken to the extreme just because they're black? So want to know what you guys feel about that. How do you feel, we have We know whether or not we've moved on from that, whether or not that's something that's still relevant today. The second thing that I noticed just about the hearing was, Fannie Willis, her being a black woman as a district attorney, uh, in a room full of all white people, and how that feels. Now, being someone who does work in what people will call a business corporate type of setting, I am used to being in spaces where the majority of people were white, and in some spaces all of them were white besides myself. So, but I just thought it was interesting, when the camera would pan around through the courtroom, to catch different scenes, that everyone in the courtroom, from the judge to all of the attorneys that were representing the prosecution, even her attorney, even Fannie Willis' attorney, because she has a right to an attorney. Uh, all of them were white, I think, and I'm not 100% sure, but I think the stenographer, the lady that was recording all of the dialogue in the proceedings, I believe she was black, but I didn't see her. Only saw maybe a piece of her. She may have been black, but every other person in that room was white, and whether or not that contributed to her demeanor and how she presented herself, but also whether or not it contributed to a lot of the tropes and the types of questions that came from that. But it was interesting just to see her in this space, and I'm sure her being a black woman and a black district attorney, that she's in a space that's probably dominated by white people anyway, so it's probably no big deal for her. But just for me, it was just interesting seeing just this room of white people pretty much attacking her. So back to the case, and just to kind of elaborate on a little bit what we learned about the relationship, or a little bit about what Fannie Willis and Nathan Wade explained about the relationship. But before I even get into that, I know that some people are naturally gonna ask, like, well, what does this mean? What does the outcome of this mean? And why is it important? So you have people on pretty much on two sides of the spectrum. You have our folks who say this shouldn't matter. What she does in her personal life is her personal life, and we shouldn't even be having any space to veer into what she does in her personal life, and that also there is this sexist, maybe even double standard of would we be having this type of conversation if it was a white male, and he was sleeping with someone in the office, or someone that that worked with him. How would the media be portraying this, and would this even be a thing, or is this just a smear campaign to make her look bad? So you have some people, like I said, some people are like, we should not be worried about her business at all, point blank. Then you have some people that are like, she's a public figure. She is prosecuting one of the most important cases in U.S. history that she's prosecuting, that she should have a little more caution in how she's presenting herself, even in her personal life, because it's not worth the it's not worth muddying the waters of this case, of this prosecution of Donald Trump, that her engaging in whatever office romance is taken away and giving fodder and excuse to those who are in Trump's corner, but just in general, just bringing negative attention to this trial that's already going to be difficult to adjudicate. But excuse me. So what happens? So what happens when the verdict is well, it's not a verdict. So the judge in the case has the ability to either disqualify her in her office from prosecuting the case, or saying that this doesn't have anything to do with what we're doing, so we're going to just continue with the case. Now, what's important is a disqualification is a win for the Trump team and some of his co-defendants, which I think at least three of his co-defendants have already pleaded guilty. We don't know the charges, but they've pleaded their part out. But this would be a major win for the Trump side, is because this would mean that the trial will be delayed, and you know trials of this magnitude, if someone is disqualified, which it has happened before, fairly recently, I heard a case, was a prosecuting team was disqualified, and that case has sat while a special prosecutor is being looked at in order to take the case. That case right now has been sitting for over 18 months, and this is in Georgia, close to where FANNI WILLIS operates. So a delay of that magnitude is a win for Trump. It's a win for all of the co-defendants for the very basic reason that, one tactic in law is you just keep appealing it until it just gets so ridiculous with time and ridiculous with effort and money that whatever the case is goes away. Just keep appealing. You have the right to appeal multiple times depending on what's going on. Depending on what the charges are. So appeals equal delay. A delay is always a good thing for the defense team. For just a lot of reasons. You're talking about evidence could maybe go missing or go bad or anything. Like, there's a myriad of reasons why delay is a significant tactic. But for Donald Trump, any type of delay means that most likely this case is not going to be even trialed until close to or after the presidential election, which means that Trump could be elected, and there's no scenario where I see a sitting president being prosecuted at the same time. I don't see that at all. I see it either just being postponed until he's done the presidency, and then they will attempt to revisit it at some point. Now, there's a lot of things. If he wins, a lot of things can happen in 4 years. That can change how this case is even looked at. How this case, whether or not this case will even be taken back up. Who knows who will be the district attorney at that moment? Who knows if politically anybody even will want to even touch it 4 years later? There is so much at stake. Just because of the timing and the time sensitive of this case, pushing it back is really a win for the defense. So I wanted to kind of ask my second question. Do you think that this FANNI WILLIS issue, do you believe that she should be free to do whatever she wants to do? She wants to have an office romance. It doesn't affect it doesn't affect the case. It doesn't affect the prosecution. If she should be free to have a private life, just as free as anyone else. That there should not be any type of thing, as long as she is being done legally and there's consent from both parties. That there's nothing that anybody should be having a conversation about her personal life. Are you folks that believe that? Let me know. Or are you from the camp that believes that she should know better? That she should not, jeopardize her career, her space, jeopardize the case by engaging in this office romance. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know what side you guys fall on. It's more like privacy versus the professional expectations that this type of case will create. So let me know what you guys think about that. So the third thing I wanted to talk about, just in reference to this, is how do we how do we make sure that our spaces and people are allowed to be human? Like, we should not need to have superhuman strength and qualities, just to be able to be regular. We should be able to have regular responses, to issues and things that are happening or are going on. So, I mean, that was really just how I kind of wanted to end this. But just the recap. Um, Fannie Willis herself is she's testifying. She's being accused of hiring her boyfriend, paying him exorbitant amounts of money, and reaping some of the benefits of that. Um, so, if you guys, like this type of conversation, make sure that you hit the like button. Make sure you let us know that you are here. Uh, Make sure you let us know where you're from, city, state, country. Let us know that you are listening, that you like this. Don't forget to subscribe. Subscribing gives you an opportunity to be notified whenever we go online, or be notified whenever we drop any new material. Don't forget to share. Let folks know that this channel exists. If you know people that might find some value in this channel, in these types of conversations, in these types of spaces. So I'm gonna leave you guys at that. Hopefully I will get on here whenever we get some more detail on what's going on with the Fannie Willis case and whether or not she's going to be disqualified.